What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 98 of the Halving Report podcast. I am your host, Brad Mines. The price of Bitcoin is about $27,000 US, and there's only about 29 weeks and 6 days left until the next Bitcoin halving. People are asking me, what's going on with Bitcoin? What's the price doing? And why is it doing it? The shorter answer is we're in a bear market, and we still got a ways to go. But a lot of people in the space right now are saying it's a great time to accumulate more Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrencies. But there's also a lot of speculation around the coming of a Bitcoin ETF. The approval of a Bitcoin ETF coupled with the halving could be the recipe for a pretty good bull run going into 2024 and beyond. Today we welcome Amr to the show. Amr is the co-creator and CEO of Metawealth. Metawealth's aim is to democratize real estate investment through the purchase of tokens that represent fractions of real estate. Investing in their platform could potentially give returns that are similar to getting monthly rent from a tenant. I think this is a very cool concept and hope you join this conversation right to the end of the show. So without further ado, everybody welcome Amr to the show. Amr, welcome to the Halving Report podcast. Thanks for doing it this afternoon for you, this morning for me. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me. Really excited to talk about Metawealth and tokenization here on the Halving Report.
Awesome. Yeah, and before we dive deep into that, have you always been in the crypto space before you created Metawealth? Were you a Bitcoin guy, Ethereum guy? What's your history with crypto?
Actually, a little bit. I wouldn't consider myself a Web3 guy at the beginning. Always dabbled in Bitcoin, a little bit in Litecoin back then. Ethereum as well when it was like pretty much $100. So that was like since I would say 2014, 2015, but really haven't gone into until like Metawealth. Before this, I've done a lot of fintech in the past. I'm pretty sure Wealthsimple, the Canadian startup. I used to work over there for almost 2 years. Lots of actual fintech experience.
Yeah, I'm actually a user of Wealthsimple as well. That's where I have my TFSAs and investing accounts there. They're quite cheaper than your traditional stock trading accounts.
What I like about them is that they're actually pretty simple. There's not a lot of actual paperwork involved. You can pretty much just set up an account and you can actually just start trading within few steps, which is unnormal for Canadians.
Yeah, for sure. I remember the process was pretty quick. Didn't have to go into a bank like traditionally I had when I was using TD or Scotia. So it's a pretty cool platform. Not that haven't been logged into making too many moves lately, kind of just sitting back. But yeah, that's cool. So you're a developer then. What is the Chan? Is it the Chan Foundation?
So Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. It's actually a funny story. First of all, I actually been in startups my whole life. Even before I graduated from university, always wanted to actually get into startups. I had offers from Google, from Facebook, from Amazon, but I decided to go for a startup called Meta. Meta then got bought by the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, which actually was Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla. The whole thing was to help researchers advance their research, but then later on, they dismantled Meta, and then Facebook became Meta. So it was my first, I would say, startup after university, and within 2 years, I was in the Silicon Valley. I met, Mark, I met Priscilla, I met great, amazing people from Facebook as well. And it taught me a lot. A lot of them are actually still my friends right now. I keep in touch with them. It was a great, an unusual experience.
Well, that's very interesting. You met Mark? That's pretty huge, man. When did that happen, and what was that like?
It was back in 2017. He's actually a cool guy. We started he moved, the whole team kind of moved from Toronto to Silicon Valley to meet the rest of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative employees. So we were 30 of us kind of moving to Silicon Valley over there, and he gave a little speech over there, just introduce himself. talked a little bit about the vision. He's a very reachable person. Everybody pretty much can talk with him, like at the Chance Zuckerberg Initiative. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Now, Mark's a Bitcoin guy too, isn't he? Doesn't he have a goat named Bitcoin?
I actually am not sure. He's big on Metaverse though, but I haven't seen him talk much on Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's what are we sitting at? 27,000 right now. Up 2% in a week, something like that. And Ethereum is just under 1,700, up 5.5% in the past week. What would you say, someone on the outside? What's happening with Bitcoin and crypto right now?
It depends where you live, I would say. Like the thing is that the USA kind of still struggling with the regulations. The SEC actually still have some issues there. That's why we see like Coinbase actually want to take a step forward with the SEC. But in general, like the Bitcoin and Ethereum just unlock a whole new surface for us. Ethereum specifically right now with the dApps out there utilizing the ETH out there, the layer 2s that's being built on top of Ethereum. There's going to be just more into that, and it's just unlocking the whole space for us. So I do think like Ethereum is going to actually keep going up in the future. It's going to be specifically for like any financial institution apps out there, and same with Bitcoin. There's still, it's going to be like, I would say mainly like as a reserves to other currencies. I see that like happening more and more, but there's a lot of innovations. There's just so much going out there. And I can't wait to see what in the next 5 to 10 years, what we can do with Bitcoins and Ethereum.
Absolutely. And, add AI into the mix and with all that too. And, we might get some exponential changes in the coming years. It's pretty crazy the technological times we're in, man. My belief is the present is always the best time to be alive in regards to that. You talked about innovation. Let's jump to your innovation. Can you explain to us what is Metawealth?
It's pretty simple. We actually tokenize real estate, then we fractionalize it, and then we sell each token for like 100 USDC. It's as simple as that. Then we pretty much like we provide like a fully managed process to people. So we take care of all the little things here and there, the hassle, the legal paperwork, the asset management, renting the asset itself, finding people to maintain as well, all of that. And people just invest in it as if they invested in stocks. So in like 5 minutes right now, if you just go to our app, you can pretty much invest in a apartment in Spain or apartment in Bucharest right there from where you're at, so we're making it like a global for anybody to actually come and just like see the beautiful assets out there and invest in those.
Now, what countries is Metawealth operational in? Because I feel like there's got to be a lot of red tape when you're dealing with international real estate assets.
Mainly, it's the red tape is pretty much like in North America. Europe is actually I would say is moving faster with regulations. So we're operating right now in 31 countries, Europe mainly, and just few countries in Asia right now. So the ones in basically are the EU, UK, and then Switzerland, and then just we have a few clients coming from actually outside of Europe from Asia as well.
So you guys are quite widespread already. And when did the formulation of the company begin?
We started all of this as an idea pretty much last year. And then, we were just talking about like, how can we, so we started actually fractionalizing NFT. And the whole thing was like this, okay, NFTs were a big thing back then. And everybody was like, you have to own an NFT. NFT is the biggest thing. You go to podcasts, they talk about NFT, they talk about art, they talk about how that would help the creators of the NFTs, all of that. But when we looked at it, we saw like pretty much 90% of the NFTs out there did not have like any value, and we said to ourselves like there should be a way to protect users, to protect the the normal guys that don't know much about NFTs from being scammed, from actually investing in things that doesn't have any value. So this is how it started. It was like, can we actually bring like someone want to own a Bored Ape, but they pretty much don't have like actually let's say 76 ETH out there. Can we just sell them actually a share out there, like a fraction of this Bored Ape? So it all started there, and then Michael, my co-founder, was like, he's actually a real estate developer. He's been in real estate for over 20 years, and it was like 9 p.m. at that time, and we're just like having conversation on vision of Metawealth and where we're gonna go from there. And I was like, guys, would it be possible to fractionalize real estate? And we looked at it, was like, you know what? Yeah, we can do that. Let's actually talk about the benefits of that. This is actually much better than just fractionalizing, Bored Apes and other NFTs. So it all started kind of like this, where we decided to actually take on our first real estate project to fractionalize and sell fractions of it to people. So started with NFT and then moved to real estate. And since then, I would say we fractionalized 78 apartments and done 3 million of sales in USDC just in the past 6 months. As a matter of fact, we actually just closed a project that's 17 apartments this Friday. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Congratulations to you and your team on your recent success. That's very innovative, and I think that is much needed in today's world where people can't afford a full piece of real estate, and they need some exposure to that. And as we know, like, most people build their wealth through real estate, right? Isn't there like a crazy stat, like 90% of millionaires have made their money through real estate?
There's so much stats out there, like even 68% of wealth right now is pretty much stored in real estate, and it's just inaccessible to people. I mean, even if you look at, you're from Toronto, right? Like if you look at the market in North America right there, it's just scary. You pretty much have to work right now like 35 to 40 years of your life to afford a house. All of these are actually big problems for people, and what we're trying to do is actually provide them with a way where they can invest at their own pace. They don't need to put like 30% down. They can just put like 100 every month, for example, or 500 or 1,000, whatever they can actually afford at that time, and take it from there. And based on that, they use that money to actually later on get some passive income, use that to advance their financial freedom plan, and maybe buy a house that they can live in without having to work for it, and so on. So that's kind of like the full vision of what we offer here.
So where does tokenization come in? Because a lot of people might say, why the need for a token? Are you guys securing users' assets with the token, or like how does it come in play, and why the need to utilize blockchain?
There's few things I would say. The number one is that the blockchain itself, it offers a lot of benefits. Even if, like, I would say, like, even if you're not doing tokenization, you should be looking at the blockchain. Governments should be looking at the blockchain right now to store their data. It's the most secure ledger in the world. Once it's actually on the system, it's really hard to manipulate. There's many, like, thousands of nodes out there, and many validators that actually you have to actually get access to in order to manipulate data. So from a safety perspective, it's the best one out there, right? Now, number two is ownership. Real estate is all about ownership. It's all about what you own out there. If I tell you right now that I'm a fund manager and you actually own this house over there, all you have to do is just believe my word in this case, right? Like, I can give you paperwork, I can give you like some legal documents, but you yourself are not a true owner of of the real estate. You just actually own it now because of the fund that we have for you that acts on behalf of you, kind of like that, right? But with tokenization, with the blockchain, what we're able to do is allow you as the user to own part of this representation of real estate on a blockchain, which is much closer to what you can own in the real world. Kind of, you can see like the blockchain ledger as a way where you can register those real estate buildings, those packages out there, and then the user themselves, they just can own those tokens that reference to this big package on a blockchain. They can trade those, they can exit them anytime they want. So all of this is actually something that you would not have gotten if you're not using blockchain or tokenization. So we truly believe, like, here's another example. If you're actually invested in a REIT, everybody's talking about REITs right there, right? If you invested in a REIT, what you're actually doing in this case is that you're getting back like a statement as to what your investment is, but you don't know what you invested in, because there's also no traceability. There's no transparency as to what you invested in. All of these things, are actually available because of tokenization. I want to even add like more to it, which is something that not many people has discussed. We've been pretty much talking about, like, everybody I've seen, not everybody, but most people I've seen that actually tokenizing, they only think of kind of the mirroring part. How can you mirror like what's in the real world with what's in the digital world? But what is still missing is like what we see with tokenization right now is kind of like a little engine that we just like innovated. Like imagine like back in, I don't know, the 50s, when cars were invented. It's like, oh, here's a little engine, you can just put like few wheels on and it just runs. And people still haven't actually imagined what's the full potential of it. And tokenization is kind of like this right now. It's like, oh, you know what, we actually just mirrored like what's in the real world with what's in the digital world. But once you own that token, once you own that representation of that token, there's a whole potential out there that we still actually unlocking right now. Like, one of the things that excites me the most about it is that you will be able to have a stable coin backed by real world assets. That thing on its own is pretty big, that you can actually just even stake those tokens, and gain back in return like benefits from supporting like a stable coin. These things are still like new and innovative. We're still like 1 year in this kind of journey with tokenization, with staking, with all of that. But without tokenization, without blockchain, we would have been like a boring system that does not like give people the most of the benefits. And we are in the business of building true value for our users.
So traditionally, when you hold your own private keys for a coin, you lose your private keys, you lose your coins. If I have a token representing a piece of real estate from your platform and I somehow lose that, is that possible? Is that recovery through you guys? Like, how could I lose a piece of like a tangible asset through losing my private key?
Yeah, so what we have is actually a trustee. So we have our smart contracts and all of this. At the end of the day, yes, you own, you are the owner, you're responsible for everything. But at the same time, that we have a recoverability actually mechanism in this case. But I have to tell you a little bit more about like our setup over here. Like one of the things that we have is that an entity that's a third-party legal firm. Like the reason why we have this, because we tell you, for example, this I don't know, let's say NFT is representing like a real estate building there, like doesn't mean that we have, it doesn't mean it's true. I could be lying to you right there, right? So what we have is actually a trustee, which is a third party legal firm. This trustee will act on behalf of the token holders. This trustee's job is mainly to take instructions from the smart contract, from on behalf of the token holders, and then act upon these in the real world, basically. And through this trustee, someone can claim, for example, ownership because they lost their wallet or whatever. They have to fill out a form. They have to verify their identity and all of that. Make sure that the transactions are traceable to them. And based on that, yes, we can recover those tokens. But it's not like and something that we ourselves like at Metawell do. but we have we provide this mechanism just to make sure that ownership itself is not lost.
Right. So then you guys would, like, has this happened before? Like, or what would you do? Issue a new token or a new NFT?
Yes.
Or
So the idea is that you actually burn that token and you just issue a new token.
so
Metawealth
that's good.
itself wouldn't be able to do this. Only the trustee would be able to do this.
Now, because you guys work internationally, where's your legal team then that would handle that?
Yeah, it's all it depends where the asset is. We try to make it simple. So if the asset is say in Spain, then the legal firm that is acting on behalf of the user will be in Spain. For now, the legal firm that we're working with is we have an office in Spain and an office in Bucharest, Romania.
Tokenization of real estate, you guys are pushing forth. You guys are acquiring more assets, and you're building your user base. Where do you guys see yourselves in say 5 years, or do you have an ultimate game plan or timeline?
Yeah, we have actually a lot of plans. What we don't see ourselves as tokenization platform. We see ourselves as a wealth generation platform. We're in the business of actually helping people build wealth for generations, not just for 1 month, not for 2 months, not for a year, but continuously building that value for them and continue to build that wealth year over year for them. So all the new features that we're pushing, all the licenses that we're getting, all the employees that we're hiring right now, it's all because we want to become that platform that democratize wealth generation for everyone. So we're starting with tokenization of real estate, but later on we could be adding many features to help people with having passive income, with investing in secondary markets and alternative assets and all of that.
Very cool. Is there any other aspects of crypto that you're super deep in, aside from your own company that you have going on?
Yeah, actually many. I would say I love the few of the NFT projects out there. There's a good project out there that's actually called ArtFi that I like. There is also some those learn or X to earn type of movements. I follow these quite a lot right now, but I'm more excited actually about the infrastructure side of it. There's we started Bitcoin and Ethereum movements with how can we mine, how can we actually build this this $1 trillion industry, and now we're seeing more applications to it, more infrastructure, more KYC that can be moved from one place to another. What really excites me the most right now is having on-chain KYC, because it truly gets us to that mass adoption that we're all looking for. Here's one of the examples that always resonates with me. We all talk about how in Web3 you'll be able to take your wallet and move from one application to another, but right now we actually this is not true, because with every application you go to, you have to do KYC with them, and you have to pretty much just start from scratch, which is not the Web3 way of actually moving. And I'm really excited actually about on-chain KYC, because with this, zero knowledge proofs, and you'll be able just to take your identity with you, having done KYC only once, depending on what you're actually trying to do, and just move across applications this way. So you could be for example, at another financial app over there, and then you come to us and you can say, I want to buy real estate at Metawealth, and we look at your identity, your wallet, and your identity, and say okay, you know what? Yeah, this guy has done KYC before. So these are some of the exciting things that I would say not directly related to Metawealth, but I feel the more we see them, the more we see people actually adopting those. It will just make the space much better, and it will also improve mass adoption for everyone as well in the space.
I would love to see KYC on chain flourish. However, I'm a little skeptical of North American governments, I feel like they're still going to require third parties to collect that information in some central way for them to feed back. Because I feel like just recognizing that they've done KYC before on chain won't be enough to comply with regulatory compliance. Do you have any thoughts around that?
North America in general needs a lot of things. It needs to step up. It needs to actually move away from the old way of thinking and actually just get into the benefits that this would actually get us to be, So I feel like I would like them to actually be like, I don't want to say, it's hard to tell, it's hard to tell like which direction they would go to. If you see like Coinbase CEO coming out and attacking pretty much the SEC, you know how bad it is, and Coinbase is not a small player, right? It's one of the biggest players out there. So I know like they're actually trying to, as much as possible, to centralize everything, to actually to say that we have to protect the USA by being central. I think you can actually still get everything you need, all the information you need and all of that by being decentral. So I do not think like that claim is true, if you ask me. I hope like things change in the USA. I hope we see like more people open kind of, or the SEC more open to the advancements that blockchain brings to the table. The USA market by far is the biggest one, is the one that's always you consider as the early adopters out there, right? So it's like the more like we not we don't support it, the more we actually just push it away kind of from the advancement of technology. And like kind of the US, like how I see is that the USA, or no, is it like technology is dependent on actually the people from the United States, and also the United States is dependent on technology. So it's kind of like this cycle that in order to have like a mass adoption, you actually need to be in the USA first. And if you also in the USA, you're actually always innovating kind of, as well. So the SEC need to do something to keep that happening as well. So that's my thoughts. I hope they change. And I know like nobody kind of thinking they would, but I think in the next 3-5 years, we will see like a major breakthrough with SEC.
What are your thoughts around, like, we're on the halving report. I got to ask you, what are your thoughts around the Bitcoin halving? Do you think it's still going to have an impact on the overall market?
On one way, like it's pretty good. It will add like more liquidity. There's actually a lot that you can do there. But at the same time, people trade with almost fractions of Bitcoin. So immediate impact, I don't think it would happen, but maybe like later on when institutions kind of come, when they want to liquidate, when they want to actually buy more of something, because these guys like bring masses, right? So maybe then we would have this. The beauty of Bitcoin it's not a whole, it's actually fractions of fractions of fractions kind of, which is like you can't compare it kind of to stocks or to company shares that you kind of have over there. So there's benefits to it. I'm just saying, like in the short term, I don't think it will be immediate impact on it.
Yeah, I find like usually around the actual halving, it's buy the rumor, sell the news, but then later on, 6 to 10 months later, historically we've seen the price go up. So we'll see what happens next year after the halving. I want to throw a couple fun Blitz questions at you. Coffee or tea?
Depends on the day. Mostly coffee.
What was the last book that you read and loved?
There's a book by Seth Godin. This is marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll check it out.
Really nice book. Yeah, it's a very good one.
Any hobbies you indulge in when you're not democratizing real estate investments?
Watching soccer. I'm a big soccer fan, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite team?
Barcelona. Yeah.
All right on.
This is like my way to move all the stress, all those like, what? I can't wait to see the next game and just actually not think about anything but just like enjoy the game. Yeah.
As we wrap up here, I'm gonna ask you, how our listeners can stay updated with Metawealth and yourself, where can we follow you and learn more?
Before actually I get to this, I just want to mention that until recently, until actually last month, we've been pretty much focused on Web2 people. Just last month, we moved on to Web3, and we actually bring in a lot of Web3 initiatives, a lot of features, new campaigns are running. So we're building our community, we're building our Web3 community, which is a great a place for everyone who is watching right now to join us. So our Discord is available for people to come. Our Twitter space as well, a Twitter account as well. Metawealth app is some place where you can check us out. If you're also in the EU, you can download the app at metawealth.app.link. And we're really excited. It's again, like, we're a very small community. Would love to hear from everybody out there. How we can actually help, how we can move forward, what are the things they're looking for. Please come to those areas, and would love to see everybody.
I'll definitely, provide those links in the show notes. We'll make some content here and spread it out, share it out, and educate people about what you guys are doing. I think it's pretty cool. You got some interesting experiences behind you there, that make you a unique person to be a co-creator of the company. I'm going to thank you for doing the Halving Report, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Here's a question for you. I wonder, what do you think? What do you think of the tokenization in general?
I think it's interesting. I've seen a lot of companies, projects come and go since I've gotten to the space in 2017. I'm very a fiscally conservative cryptocurrency investor, so that means I'm investing into the blue chips. I don't dive into many other tokens these days, but I'm always open ears, listening about them, learning about them, trying to keep my ear close to the ground and what's happening and what's developing in this space. I would love to see as many things as possible become democratized. So what you're doing. So I'm a big fan of it. I love that you guys are building the infrastructure to do that. And, as a real estate investor myself, luckily I was able to get in at a time where it was still manageable to get property here in Canada. Coming into 2023, I think there's going to be, maybe a lot more young people looking for these types of opportunities. So I think it's really great that you guys are building that infrastructure. I wish you guys all the best. I'll be following along, and hopefully we can catch up down the road and kind of see where we're at.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know you were actually a real estate investor. I mean, it's good that you actually got in there before real estate, before the boom kind of happened.
Yeah, I kind of got lucky there with, just getting a condo. I kind of figured out real quick. This is before I even got really dived into Bitcoin. I thought real estate was your number one go-to. And then after I found out about Bitcoin, digital gold and the potential there and the social ramifications and everything that goes along with that decentralization and ethos behind it, I saw a big opportunity there and philosophically wanted to invest there as well. So I haven't bought in any more real estate since I kind of got into this space, but yeah, I was interested in investing pretty early in my 20s. So I kind of
nice, man. I wish more people were like you. You know what's the exciting moment that everybody talks about, which is, like, to me, like, this is what kind of keeps me moving forward, is that when people receive the rental money in their wallet, that day is like payday for everybody, like, on our platform, and they just come there as like, oh my god, I gotta invest more. Why I'm only getting 100. Okay, you know what? Next month I'm gonna actually put more, so I'm getting like 150.
Oh yes, is that something that's within your platform? Then you invest and then they get rented out, and you can kind of see that feedback in your wallet. Is that a goal down the road, or
you actually do? So you actually we have actually a financial freedom plan. You can say, like, you know what, I am in 15 years, I'd like to actually be able to have to get like $500 in passive income every month. And then through that, we create the plan for you, customize it, personalize it, and every month you put that money, we tell you how far you from your goal. And then we take it this way. But the exciting thing is that every month, literally to me, like, where I really enjoy the app is that every month, like, let's say, our next one is actually October 10th. We're actually sending rent. We're distributing rent actually October 10th. I always look forward to that day when, that money actually hits our token holders' wallets, because this is when it's like the most excited. Everybody's like kind of waiting for it. It's like kind of, waiting for your paycheck, and it hits your wallet and you get like this amazing experience. You got your $100 from rent right there, and I've seen like so many people telling me, this is like the moment where I'm really always looking forward to. This is the moment of the month that I always look for, and I always tell myself I should have put more money in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like getting interest back on your tokens, or what you're doing. What currency do you guys pay out in?
USDC.
That's awesome, man. I feel like we should have talked about that earlier in the episode. Is there any other amazing features?
Okay, here's another one that we're gonna launch soon. We haven't launched it yet. It goes to what I was telling you about, like how we actually get into the Web3 space and all of that. We're going to have a learn to earn type of feature, and the reason why is because our people, like what we notice right now is most people, including myself, like we have like many other things in our lives that we actually don't get the best financial literature out there to make financial decisions. And like I said, we're here trying to help people out. We're trying to help them generate the passive income. We're trying to help them build wealth, all of that. So we want them to learn more. So what we're gonna push later on is a learn to earn kind of product where you will take like actually financial, not courses, but modules, like very small snippets where you can actually just learn or grasp those concepts to help you like make better decisions. So this is like something that I would say we're pushing very hard right now. Another one is that we will try. There is loyalty points, which are kind of like airdrops. So for everybody who's actually right now who just, we're still pretty young, right? So again, like we're building our community. So anyone who actually start with us right now, we recognize the fact that they actually started with us early. We recognize that they are early movers over there. I want to reward these guys. So they have like actually lots of airdrops that will later on they can use to redeem some new features in the app, get like lower fees, maybe later on actually buy real estate. We're still like actually designing a whole roadmap for this. But this is really exciting for me too. Oh, we're gonna have later on some actually VR stuff in the app as well. So people would be able to actually walk into the apartments that they want to buy and see how they look like, and to take it from there as well.
Yeah, very cool. You see that on most real estate websites now. They got that virtual tour. So I think you guys are stepping in the right direction. I can see it. I can see it in your face, the passion in your eyes, the excitement. Those monthly payments. I think it's pretty awesome, man. I'm gonna check it out, learn a little bit more, follow along. Yeah, man. Maybe just let us know your socials, and we'll wrap it up, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So yeah, we'll talk later.
Hey you, thanks for listening to the Halving Report podcast. If you want to support, follow us on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a 5-star rating. Follow us on our socials at Halving Report. If you're Canadian and you want to buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrency for the first time, go to bitbuy.ca/halving for a $20 bonus. If you want to bring it to the next level and take self-custody of your cryptocurrencies, if you want $30 off the ultimate digital asset security device BitFi, go to halvingreport.com/BitFi for more information. Until next time, I'm Brad Mines.